I decided to replay Deltarune just to get like the stupidest dialogue that I or some people might have missed. I mean, there's obviously some really popular one that basically everybody knows at this point. Stuff like, you know, Star Walker or Spamton getting mad that you filled your inventory to keep him from entering your pocket. But I mean, those are hard to get, but it's very popular at this point, right? But then what about stuff like, oh, what happens if I beat up Roulx Kaard instead of actually playing his house game? Those are the stuff that I want to see. Granted, a lot of stuff that are in this video are probably something that you still know anyways, or might not be that interesting, but whatever. This is kind of just an excuse for me to replay the game again so that I have a proper save file for Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. Anyways, here we go. First order of business is going to the earliest save point after getting Susie and the save point mocking you for backtracking. There's also this check dialogue from K-Round. It's like, check? That's chess, not checkers. And in the next turn, the option becomes checkers. That's better. Alright, Toby Fox. Aside from the Star Walker dialogue, the one main thing that you can also do from this room is stealing 40 bucks from the fake Star Walker if you're fast enough. If you lose to the Susie and Lancer fight, you'll be sent back to the previous room with a laughing sound effect without a game over, but if you leave the room and come back, it plays the same laughing audio every time you re-enter the room. I assume this is just a bug that probably goes unnoticed. Nobody loses to Susie and Lancer anyways, right? I think the Susie and Lancer fight itself also have a lot of missable dialogues with Susie, because most of the time people just immediately sing and put Susie to sleep. You can constantly annoy Susie and try to get her to be on your side, to no avail obviously, but I think it's also really funny that every time you try to convince Susie for something, like talking about like braiding her hair and stuff, she's like low-key interested. I just think it's really cute that Susie's actually kind of interested in these sort of stuff, or like bag of worms. After Susie had a change of heart, if you go back to the tutorial masters and talk to the Susie master, they talk about how you don't need to warn enemies anymore and about how Susie has changed. These dialogues are just really cute. Now this one's a classic. After you beat K-Round and then you mash through the dialogue, you go all the way to the right and you can interact with K-Round's crown. I was also interested in what happens if you fill your inventory before going into Jeva's fight for getting Jeva's item, but there's nothing really funny here. It just mentioned there's a chest outside, that's really it. That's it for Chapter 1. Now moving to Chapter 2, I'm actually not sure how many people know about this one because I sure missed this, but if you hug the Roulx dummy, even though it says that nobody's looking, if you go back and talk to Susie and Roulx, it was clear that they're actually watching and they knew what happened and they teases you about it. How'd they even see us? We're literally across town. And then on the party dojo where Jigsaw Joe teaches you about acting and sparing at the same turn, you can just ignore that and beat him up, and that actually still counts as a win. You'd still get his $1 life saving anyways. Now moving into the cyber world, the Noelle and Chris dialogues are so freaking cute in the most platonic way. I just love these two because Noelle really plays into Chris' weirdness. You can also tease her with the electric fence. I was trying to not actually hit her, but I accidentally almost hit her, I'm sorry. And if you tease Noelle by stepping off the button for the electric fence, Noelle will also do the same. I think this is pretty well known, but I just want to put it here because it is kind of endearing that Chris was actually kind of upset about this. Also, I was wondering if there's any special dialogue if you beat Birdly up without using axe, but turns out there's really nothing. It's just the same dialogue in the end. Speaking of beating people up, I also wonder what happened if you beat up Spamton. Spamton does actually get angry over this. I don't think I've ever seen anyone actually get this dialogue. He went on for quite a long while, going off in the most Spamton way possible. But really, the main thing that he's pissed off about is the fact that we didn't give him any money or any deals at all, which is understandable. He is the man of the peepees after all. You gotta value your deals with the businessman. He got angry over that and tells you that you missed your shot from getting his stuff. So now if you return to the trash zone and go to Spamton's shop, it's just locked now, so I had to reload my safe. If you haven't touched the moss with Noelle and then you go back to the spot with Susie and Roulx instead, Girls Next Door will play for some reason and you have this like emotional dialogue with Susie, like, oh, you saved the moss for me. Like, okay, whatever, Toby Fox. I also like how much Toby Fox puts dialogue in like stopping you from backtracking, like Noelle wondering how Chris is the leader, or Susie stopping us from getting away with the 20 mice. My team does not like backtracking at all, more like the unfun gang. Anyways, here's me stuffing a bunch of frayed bow tie in my inventory for you know what. Also, hey, device friend, nice to see you. After the basement, if you talk to the Swatchling before fighting the Spamton Neo, Swatchling tries to hide the fact that they have a basement, but it also sounded like as if Chris was being loud about it. I guess even before the Spamton Neo reveal, they were kind of already freaking out, which is fair enough. It was a pretty scary basement. Something that I also missed that I never actually knew about. If you go and check the swan here in the middle of the Acid River, they reference Queen's dialogue when she threatened Noelle to join her side with the same exact wording. Also, something that I never really noticed about how ironic the dialogue is when Roulx said, "Of course, Chris, it's nice that you are you." Like, as if Roulx didn't know damn well that Chris has not been themselves since Chapter 1. What, you're taking the piss out of this? That's crazy. That's actually really messed up. I don't know how I completely missed the irony of this dialogue. Also, speaking of Roulx, I did the lesbian skip in this run, and yet Roulx still knows that Susie took a Ferris wheel ride with Noelle. How'd you know that one, huh? Anyways, here's me attacking Roulx Kaard and him begging me to stop hitting him and actually play his games. This is also something that I've never seen people do. You can very much just completely ignore Roulx Kaard, like taking up your houses and stuff, and just keep on hitting him. When he's at a low enough health, I did ended up trying to take some houses, but I ended up still just killing him anyways. But these dialogues are so good, like, so thou hast beaten the crap out of me. I suppose that means thou thinkest thou hast won? Well, shiver it my timber at you, little bimbo. Okay, whatever, man. And then he turns to stone. It's such a good missable dialogue. This is also a good time to backtrack all the way to the first save and getting trash talk for pointless backtracking. And here's obligatory Spamton getting mad because you filled your inventory that he can't get in. I had to get a lot of freight bowtie for this one. Pretty lucky that you can get them for a really cheap price. Which is pretty funny because the freight bowtie was actually not that bad of an equipment. Oh yeah, these are not new dialogue specifically, but something that I never actually knew, which is that I tried to do the normal spare route for Queen, but then Bertley still broke his arms, and I was a bit confused. I thought, okay, maybe it's because I used Root Buster to destroy the acid shield. I retried the fight with more passively, and Bertley still breaks his own arm. I was confused, so I looked it up, and it turns out if you beat Bertley up on the previous encounter with Noelle, he's always going to break his arm on the Queen fight. Well, at this point, I'm too lazy to reload all the way back to change his fate, so I guess Bertley's just gonna have a broken arm now. Your loss, not my fault. I mean, it's a bit of my fault, but you know, we did loosen up the wire, so not my fault. On the light world, you can check the glass where the glass shows Susie giving you a cold look, which is, I mean, at this point, I guess it's pretty well known. But you can also go back to the library and Susie's like, bro, why are we here? There's a couple of new dialogues when checking out the books with Susie, but there's no new dialogues in the second floor, which is a shame because I was hoping Susie would say something with how Chris reacts with a human book. This is also well known, but if you go back to the Onion-san spot after talking to them, Chris and Susie is just gonna chill there with like wind blowing. I'm just putting it here because it's really cute. Here's one that may be semi-well known, but it's also really hard to get. If you gift the box of chocolate from Undyne to Sans by using the box of chocolate in front of Sans, Sans would be like taken aback. I mean, he made a funny quip out of it, but I feel like he was genuinely taken aback. And then we got $5 from that. Awesome. In the bathroom, if you try to use the phone, Chris would ask for Susie on the phone and Susie gets mad at them for it. One last thing I want to move on before the Snowgrave route is this dialogue. If you chose to not run the tap, then the tap will be waiting until you choose to run it. What is this dialogue? Toby Fox, you are nuts. Okay, now going into the Snowgrave route. After I got the Torn Ring from Spamton, I decided to check more equipment dialogues with Noelle. If you try to equip the Bounce Blade on Noelle, it still kind of shows like a silly dialogue as if nothing creepy at all has been happening the past like hour or so. Also, if you re-equip the original Snow Ring that Noelle had, Noelle will be like relieved, which is a little bit sad, but it is kind of cute too. Now, during the Bertley fight, I was trying to get like different kinds of dialogue that could be interesting, like the one where Chris is down and Noelle says that she can still hear their voice, but that's really the only interesting one that I can find. I ended up messing around for too much and I lost to Bertley. Awesome. Thanks, Bertley, you killed Noelle. Also, here's Ex-Husband. And that's about it. That's the end of chapter 2. I probably missed a couple of less known stuff, but whatever. I just cannot wait for chapter 3 and 4. I can't believe it's that close now. Less than a week. 2 different chapters. That is actually insane. We're getting 2 chapters at once. I don't know if my brain can handle it. I'm definitely going to stream chapter 3 and 4 when it comes out. I literally took a day off from work ahead of time for this, so look forward to that. There might be a pause in Battle Cats content once chapter 3 and 4 comes out. Depends on how hyperfixated I will be once chapter 3 and 4 comes out. But yeah, I hope you enjoy. Tell me in the comments if any of the new dialogues you've never actually seen before or you think is really funny. My personal favorite is probably the Roulx Kaard dialogue. It's so good. Or tell me if there's any other hardly known funny dialogues that I didn't put in the video. And that's about it. Catch you another time. See ya.